Sports. We are Fox Sports. We are Fox Sports.
The Rays' trip to the West Coast did not go according to plan, dropping 4 of the 6 games. But every passing minute is another chance to turn it all around. Tonight, Tampa Bay opens a 3-game set versus the hottest team in baseball, the Oakland A's. Welcome to T-Mobile Tuesday Night Baseball. Tonight from Tropicana Field, the Rays return home after their swing to the West Coast. They will open a 3-game series tonight, playing host to the Oakland Athletics. Hi again, everyone. Welcome to an evening of Rays baseball with Brian Anderson, Dwayne Stats. Todd Callis will be along in just a few moments. Well, the Rays are running into a red-hot Oakland A's lineup. Here's a team over the last 3 years started the first half tepid offensively, red hot in the second half. They didn't wait around this year for their offense.
Not at all. And where do you begin when you look at this A's offense? They lead the American League in runs with 235. You see that averages out to 5.3 runs a game. They lead in walks on base percentage. That is the key to their game. Put themselves in positions to score runs. By taking all those walks, they've done just that. They've also hit 48 home runs, and 30 of them have come with runners on base. So this is an offense that is capable of putting up runs in bunches. That's what they did over this last weekend against the Cleveland Indians. And the guy who will be put in charge in trying to slow them down is right-hander Jake Odorizzi. And after watching the way that he threw the ball over his last 2 starts, he's got a great chance to do it. 11 innings pitched, just 6 hits, has not given up an earned run, 18 strikeouts, and I really love what he's been doing with the elevated fastball to go along with that slow curve. And Jake said, listen, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. He'll be going with the same game plan tonight.
You see Jake at home, 3 starts with a 1-0 record and a 2.51 ERA. It's been a tough first quarter of the season, but the Rays are still within striking distance. They'll have their hands full tonight with Oakland, but they are happy to be home. They've also made some changes to the roster. Todd Callis will profile that move when we return. Rays and the A's just around the corner.
ready for tonight's game. A's and the Rays, Tropicana Field, Tuesday night, first of 3 against Oakland, first of 6 in this homestand. The Rays will also see the Boston Red Sox over the weekend. There was a roster move today, and there will be another one on Thursday when Alex Cobb comes off the disabled list for Tampa Bay. Brandon Gomes, so good in spring training, struggling lately, and you can see he is option to AAA Durham because the Rays needed to make room on the roster for Desmond Jennings, who was reinstated from the bereavement list. Kevin Kiermaier was the guy that took Jennings' spot on the roster initially, and again, there will be another move on Thursday when Cobb is added to the rotation for the final game of this series. We asked Alex, who made that one rehab start at Port Charlotte, Florida, about coming back to the team in his return on Thursday.
Stuff-wise, it was all there. Fastball location was pretty much, on par for where it's been leading up to the injury. So I think the only thing that we were worried about was the amount of pitches I could go. And, after getting through a 65 in the game situation in the rehab start and then finishing up some of the bullpen, I think that we're going to be good to go. I'm not sure on the total number, but enough to be able to go out there and get a good effort going deep into the game.
Should be somewhere around 90 to 100 pitches on Thursday, as the Rays will let him go further than that. Beyond that, you can see we're less than 3 minutes till first pitch. It's the A's and the Rays opening things up on this homestand. Drew Pomerantz against Jake Odorizzi. Enjoy all the action next with Dwayne Stats and Brian Anderson.
For the 9th time this year, Jake Odorizzi takes to the mound as a starting pitcher for the Rays. This will be his first appearance ever against the Oakland Athletics. And here is the lineup he will face tonight, presented by your Southern Ford dealers. Coco Crisp will lead off, followed by the former Ray at DH, John Jaso. Josh Donaldson, the third hitter, and Brandon Moss, red hot, hits cleanup. Yoenis Cespedes is in left in front of Josh Reddick, the right fielder. The catcher is Derek Norris. Nick Puto, last year with the Dodgers, now playing shortstop here in Oakland tonight, hitting 8th. Derek Sogard, the second baseman, will bat 9th.
The irresistible force meets immovable object. This A's offense is absolutely on fire right now, and Jake Odorizzi, you see his body of work for the season. He's been very good his last 2 times out, 11 shutout innings to go along with 18 strikeouts.
He faces a lineup averaging 5.34 runs a game. Oakland in 28-16, and here is Coco Crisp. And the first pitch of this game is fouled out of play. First pitch presented by Pinch-A-Penny. Odorizzi starts Crisp with the fastball in around 92. That's a fair ball up the right field line. Crisp on his way to second, and he will stop there with a double. Myers digging it out of the corner.
That pitch right there by Jake Odorizzi looked like it had a little cutting action to it. It was 87 miles an hour. And you see that little side swipe right there. Doesn't quite get it in, and Coco Crisp able to get extension and keep it fair. Instant trouble.
To the veteran Crisp, headed for extra bases from the first step out of the batter's box.
You know, already, and that's what the good ones do. Out of the box, those balls up the line in the gap. They're thinking 3 when you got Crisp speed. Make the defense keep you at second base.
Here's John Jaso. Takes the first pitch upstairs. Jaso 280 for the year, a little over 290 against right-handed pitching. Bounces it to the right side to advance the runner. Crisp to third, and Jaso's out Loney unassisted.
Well, let's take a quick look at the Tampa Bay defense, brought to you by Gold and Diamond Source. In the outfield, left to right, Brandon Guyer, Desmond Jennings is back, and Will Myers. Across the infield, third to first, Evan Longoria, Yunel Escobar, Sean Rodriguez, and James Loney. Jose Molina once again behind the plate.
And here is Josh Donaldson, who emerged last year as a solid offensive force in the middle of the Oakland lineup, and the Rays will pull the infield up here with a runner at third and 1 out in the first inning. First pitch is a strike. Donaldson closed strong last year. He had a very good September. First attempt at that off-speed curveball comes in a little high. 1 ball and 1 strike.
That's been a big weapon for Jake Odorizzi in this turnaround. His last couple of times out, he's able to throw it down in the upper 60s. Really a good change of pace pitch to go along with that fastball, the slider.
And he misses up this time with a fastball. 2-1. It's a nice pitch to get into the mix, and it appears that it makes that fastball even quicker.
Yes, because it comes out of the same plane. It really comes in on the same plane, and that 92 will jump up there like 95, 96. At least how it looks.
Long cut at the off-speed pitch.
And, you know, right now, Jake going with a pretty good mix of pitches already, and you'll typically do that against teams that know you very well or lineups that are extremely hot. This one would certainly qualify for that.
Boy, you look up and down this lineup. Doesn't appear to be an easy out. It's upstairs. 3-2, especially coming off the series they had against the Indians in Cleveland. This team was a run-scoring machine.
Averaged 10 runs a game for the 3-game series. Outscored Cleveland 30-6. A big reason why is the guy at the plate, the guy following him. I mean, how about these numbers, Dwayne? 8 of 13 plate appearances. Josh Donaldson reached safely. Home run, drove in 7, scored 7. Brandon Moss reached base safely in 10 of 14 plate appearances, drove in 6, scored 6 in that series.
3-2 is low. So a walk.
First baseman, number 37.
First and third with one out, and here's Brandon Moss. Take a look at those numbers there for Moss. Presented by Buick, the American League Player of the Week. .455 with 11 runs batted in.
How about the 9 extra base hits to go along with it? I mean, he is scolding right now. And in a RBI situation, the Rays are going to play a little bit of a shift on him. Yel Escobar on the up the middle, shading a little bit to the right.
First pitch, pop fly into left. Geyer coming in and makes the catch, a tag, and Chris tripped as he came off the bag, and a throw back to first. Donaldson back in there. Chris got back to the bag, and you could see Geyer try to get himself into a position to throw, and Chris just tripped right off the bag.
Number 52,
Two gone, first and
It
third.
almost looked staged. I mean, it really did, you know, either that or he's got the best body control of anybody.
Didn't like his jump. He aborted in the middle of it.
That's almost what it looked like, really. I mean, the ball wasn't hit that deeply.
You know, it was not hit that deeply. Geyer came in, tried to time his catch with his momentum, and then when he caught the ball, I don't think if you'd asked him, wasn't in the perfect position to throw either.
Too far above his head.
Yeah.
He had come underneath that baseball too far. I agree with you 100%. A lot of times you'll see guys set their feet where they're catching the ball moving towards home plate. Brandon was caught a little flat-footed on that fly ball.
There's Chris still at third, Donaldson at first, Cespedes with a 1-strike count. Foul back. Big cut at the off-speed pitch.
I'll tell you, this would be huge right here for the Rays. The leadoff double by Chris. This offense, the way that it's been clicking, if Jake Odorizzi can wiggle out of this one.
Upstairs with the fastball.
It's been a big pitch for him. A big pitch for Jake has been the elevated fastball, something that he has shown the ability to be able to, number one, execute, and number two, get results from it. Number of strikeouts, 18 in the last two starts, which is 11 innings, and many of them coming on that fastball elevated out over the plate.
1-2, he got it. Came back with the hard stuff to strike him out, leaving 2 men on base. So we'll go to the bottom of the first. No score. Oakland stranding men on the corners. We head into the bottom of the first with no score. Oakland leaving 2 in the top half. Rays lineup tonight presented by your Southern Ford dealers. Brandon Guyer, then Desmond Jennings and Evan Longoria. Will Myers, Sean Rodriguez, and the DH Logan Forsythe down the middle. James Loney hits 7th tonight. Yunel Escobar at short. And Jose Molina will bat 9th.
Well, taking the mound tonight for the Oakland A's, making his 3rd start of the season. Left-hander Drew Pomeranz, his last 2 starts, his only 2 starts, very similar to what Jake Odorizzi has done. 10 innings pitched combined, 0 earned runs given up as he continues to try to build up his pitch count.
Well, here's Guyer, and the first pitch is a ball. Guyer in the leadoff spot, hitting .209. Facing Drew Pomeranz. Liner into left field. Cespedes backs up to make the catch.
Let's take a quick look at the Oakland defense as it lines up tonight. Brought to you by Gold and Diamond Source. In the outfield, left to right, Yoenis Cespedes, Coco Crisp, and Josh Reddick. Across the infield, 3rd to 1st, Josh Donaldson, Nick Puto, Eric Sogard, and Brandon Moss. Derek Norris, he of the Viking look, will be behind the plate. Wait till you see that mask come off, Dwayne, the batting helmet go on. It's impressive. It's impressive.
Here's Desmond Jennings, and the pitch is a strike. What you see protruding from the mask is not attached to the mask. It's behind the catcher's mask.
I mean, the hair. I came up, they were taking batting practice, saw him swinging the bat. I'm telling you, had flashbacks to Vikings.
Yeah, he's swinging the bat like a Viking too.
I was going to say, how long has it been now? 20-some games. He's hitting .410.
Yeah.
Everybody.
Pitch is down to Desmond, and so the count goes to a ball and 2 strikes.
Well, here's the one thing we know. It's not going to stay that way forever. So tonight's as good a night as any as it starts to slow down a little bit, come back to the norm.
Yeah, sometime. That's got to start to happen. And you also notice Drew Pomeranz starting this game and working out of the stretch, and that's a routine for him.
Well, he started the season in the bullpen, and he said he felt more comfortable that way, and then all of a sudden, they came to him and said they're going to put him in the rotation. Stay comfortable, stay right out of that stretch.
Pop up on the right side. Sogard at second, 2 gone.
And what you're going to see from Pomeranz, he features a fastball that's got pretty good movement. Sometimes it'll cut, sometimes it'll sink, a little bit of run, and then a very good curveball that has really good depth to it. It throws it hard and gets real good spin, and an occasional changeup. I mean, one of those changeups that you really just kind of disregard. He's throwing it so infrequently.
Yeah, he's really fastball, a curveball with that spike approach to the curveball. Here's Evan Longoria. And it drops in there for a strike. Curveball.
Those are a little bit more difficult to throw than just a traditional 2-finger curveball, but because you get that index finger off of the baseball, you spin the ball only over 1 finger, so you can get it to spin tighter and quicker. And that's what you see him be able to do, to generate good velocity with it, but really good spin and depth.
And he's been throwing that since he was 11 years old. His father taught him that pitch with the idea that it was not as stressful on the arm as the conventional grip to a curveball. So it's been with him ever since. 1 ball, 2 strikes.
Well, I'll tell you, you've thrown it for that long, you've pretty much got it mastered. But it can be dicey when you're learning it, because you literally only have your thumb underneath the baseball. You've got your index or your middle finger along the seam, and then that spike on the seam, and you're just spinning it with 2 fingers.
And there's strike 3. Well, they used that spin to drop that one in there and get Longoria looking. 1, 2, 3, go the Rays, no score. Sports is brought to you by Toyota. Let's go places. By AT mobilizing your world. By Checkers. Checkers brings big flavor for a small price. Feed your craving for quality for only $1. Cha-ching. And by T-Mobile Tuesday Night Baseball. Josh Reddick leading off. First pitch is a strike call. Swing and a miss. 0-2 the count. Jake Odorizzi on the hill for the Rays, making his 9th appearance. 2 wins, 3 losses on the year for Jake.
Do you remember, and I know you do, but when he made his season debut against the Texas Rangers, through 6 innings shutout baseball, the way that he commanded himself on the mound, walked around like that air of confidence, that's exactly what you're seeing now tonight, coming off those last 2 outings.
And that was what was one of the things anyway that was so encouraging about that first start against Texas, because he went out there as if he owned the mound. It was his game to control, and he went to work and did exactly that. And a much more confident pitcher now. And the starts that we saw, the next time out in Kansas City on the road, and a handful of starts since then, but the last couple times out, combination of some success. And the other interesting thing is, and we talked about it, we saw it happening with Hannigan behind the plate, and when they introduced that off-speed curveball to get it into play, and now Hannigan, who's a little banged up with the hamstring issue, not on the DL. He wanted to avoid that, and apparently has. But Molina does the catching. All right, it's a pitcher to catcher, but you know the subtleties of those differences sometimes. There's strike 3 call.
You're absolutely right, and sometimes you just click with a certain catcher and work very well. And so that that the way that Odorizzi and Hannigan have been working together, that Molina has had to sit there and watch that, understand that, and I'll bet you that Hannigan and Molina sharing some notes. Jim Hickey talking to Molina, sharing some notes, what's been working well, mixing pitches. That's something that he's done very well.
Hannigan has been so good behind the plate and productive at the plate, itching to get back in there. Did not like any of the idea of the discussions about the disabled list, which is not surprising just watching him play. There's that curveball that drops in, and a strike to Derek Norris.
Yeah, nobody wants to go on the disabled list, really. I mean, at least you should never want to go on the disabled list, especially when you're playing as well as he is. Really has taken over the catching position, getting the majority of the starts there, swinging a good bat, playing great behind the plate, calling good games, doing everything well. So why would you don't want that to come to an end, have to sit out for a couple of weeks.
Off the plate, 2-1.
Here's our first great look at Derek Norris too. There you go, take it.
Strike at the knees.
Now close up. There we go. I mean, that is just spin. Show the hair in the back. It's even better. I mean, that hasn't been dealt with in years. I take one look at him, all I can think of is pillaging.
3-2 went into the woods and found himself a bat.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
Has he gone to work with it? Hitting .354. And there's ball 4 upstairs. So 1 out walk. Second pass given by Odorizzi in this game.
And that's one thing that this team will do. They lead Major League Baseball in walks now with 194. And there's really not even a close second. I think coming into play today, the Minnesota Twins were at 176.
Yeah, and you look across the board, they lead the league in runs and on-base percentage and walks. There's Nick Punto. You know, in the time that Bob Melvin has been the manager of this ball club, they'd start the year and average under 4 runs a game, and then the second half would come along and they'd start to push 5. In the time he's been here in the second half, they've averaged 4.99 runs in the second half. Well, they're averaging 5.34 runs going into play in this game. So they've wasted no time in jump-starting their offense this year.
And then you combine that with what their pitchers are doing. I mean, look at what they lead in pitching.
Yeah,
opponent's batting average
is 292.
Yeah,
that's tops.
Yeah,
and then on from there.
On from there. I mean, they just do a great job across the board on the pitching end of things. So you get that hot offense, great pitching.
Opposite field, and Geyer's right there. Punto's the second out. You know, here it is. Runs a game, on-base percentage, and the team ERA. And then how about the bullpen? That's the area so far they're a little concerned with.
Well, you remember that bringing Jim Johnson over, they let Grant Balfour go. Of course, he comes to the Rays. Jim Johnson they get from Baltimore, and it has been somewhat of a struggle for him this year so far.
Well, Eric Sogard in the batter's box. Ball, no strikes. Outfield spread out for Sogard. A conventional setup. Geyer in a few steps in the off field and left. Looper into shallow right. That's going to drop for a base hit. Down to second goes Norris. Sogard got just enough of that one to get it over the infield and drop it in front of Myers.
Well, between the way that they can work at bats, take walks, productive with the swings, they really force a pitcher to have to work hard. And this pitch runs back middle in. Sogard gets enough of it to get it out in there, but another scoring opportunity here for Oakland in the second inning.
They left men at first and third in the first. Right now, runners on first and second. At the top of the order, Coco Crisp steps in. 34-year-old switch-hitting outfielder. Just a little piece of it, a foul ball, strike one. Crisp has had a couple of nagging injuries this year. Hamstring problem in April. Nursed that through. He's had a little neck issue here the last week or so. One ball, one strike, and when he is healthy, he is an acrobatic, athletic, and energetic part of their ball club.
And a perfect fit for the top of the order because of all those reasons to go along with good speed.
Into right center field. Myers on the run. He will not be able to get there. It one-hops the wall. Norris scores. Sogard heads to the plate on the Crisp double. And just like that, it's 2-0 Oakland.
I'll tell you what, Coco Crisp either did his homework on Jake Odorizzi or pitch recognition was through the roof on that particular offering. Watch this curveball right here, and everything is, look at him just wait on it. Let it make its break and then tee off on it. He was not fooled by that pitch at all.
Back-to-back doubles for Crisp in this game. Odorizzi faces John Jaso. Fastball, Jaso started to go and checked on a pitch up. Ball, no strikes. Jaso missed the last couple months of last year with a concussion. Two 2-0 back this year, coming into this game hitting .280, a little over .270 last year. You can remember just looking at his on base percentages the last few years, and they've been healthy. 390, upper 380s. It's a little over 370 coming into this. Remember when he was with the Rays actually led him off on occasion.
That because of that reason. Poor quality at bats. That's something that Oakland prides itself in.
Into left center field. That will score Crisp. Big turn by Jaso. He'll hang on at first. And rather quickly, the A's have made it a 3-run inning, striking with 2 outs.
Picking up right where they left off in Cleveland. You were kind of hoping that the day off yesterday would cool them down a little bit, but Jaso, just a hittable pitch out over the plate, and he shoots it out into center field, left center field. Crisp, he's going to score easily, and just like that.
Josh Donaldson chops it toward the middle. Grabbed there by Sean Rodriguez, who tags Jaso. But it's a 3-run inning to an inning and a half. 3-0 Oakland. Rays half of the second in the game tonight and all season long. Tires Plus donates $100 to the Pediatric Cancer Foundation for every Tampa Bay Rays home run televised on Sun Sports. In short order, in the top of the second inning, the Oakland A's scored 3 runs, and so the Rays, with an offense that has been on again, off again, back here looking to get something going against Drew Pomeranz.
They're looking for on again tonight. Looking for on again tonight. You know, Joe said, pitching has taken a beating early, in the media, a lot of people talking about it, but it started to kind of right itself. He said there's some nights that we need to just flat out score runs, and there's just no getting around that.
Yeah, well, look at the last road trip.
That's
2.7 runs. I mean, you go 3-4, you're actually fortunate to go 3-4 with an average of 2.7 runs a game.
Well, you think about two of those wins were a combined 4-1 score in Seattle, in a 2-1 game and a 2-0 game.
Well, here's one more point about that as well. Even averaging 2.7 runs, there are a couple of really tough losses in there. And so it could have been a winning road trip pretty easily, even with those numbers. Myers out on 3 pitches. 1 up, 1 down. Second strikeout for Pomeranz.
Elevated fastball by Pomeranz, not overpowering with the velocity, but again, he plays that fastball curveball combo very well. Goes up in the zone to get that strikeout.
First pitch to Sean Rodriguez, breaking ball, strike 1.
That's a dirty curveball. That is a dirty curveball.
It's got great depth.
It does, and it's late and quick.
How about another one?
I mean, that ball out of the hand looks like it's off the plate away, and then it just boom, boom, right down. Watch this thing. There's the spike. You see that spike, and then look at that spin straight over the top, right to the outside corner.
Upstairs, and he's almost effortless, it appears, in his delivery of that pitch.
Working out of the stretch.
Yeah.
You know, working out of the stretch, he's really simplified everything. And then primarily working fastball, curveball. That's it. One plays right off the other.
Inside, 2 balls, 2 strikes.
The one thing that will force him to do, though, he has to be very good with both pitches. Because if one is faltering, then he becomes very, very predictable.
It's headed out of play. Holds the count at 2-2. Sean Rodriguez in there against the lefty at second base. Sean hit cleanup in Saturday's game against the left-hander C.J. Wilson, and Wilson was very, very good that night. Foul right back. So the Rays face another lefty here tonight. Pomeranz 3-1. Came over from the Colorado Rockies 2 years ago. He was 2-9
with an ERA approaching 5.
Count is full. They got him in a deal for Brett Anderson. Going to be headed out of play. Pomeranz, drafted by the Cleveland Indians originally. He was a first-round pick. In fact, the 5th player picked in the 2010 draft. And then was dealt to the Rockies in a deal involving Ubaldo Jimenez. And now here with Oakland.
Nice little at bat going on here by Sean Rodriguez. You can see he's seeing a lot of pitches, able to foul some tough ones off after he fell behind.
Yeah, this will be the 10th pitch of the at bat coming.
For a guy who may be limited in pitches tonight and a bullpen that has struggled from time to time for Oakland.
Pop fly right field. Reddick there. 2 gone. 2 up and 2 down.
You know, he went 82 pitches his last time out. I don't know if they're ready to take the reins off of him yet and let him go as deep as he can. He may have one more pitch count type game. You're thinking 90, 95 maybe.
Now Logan Forsythe, who is the DH. ball one. Pomeranz has wins in those last 2 starts against Seattle and the White Sox. And then a couple decisions out of the bullpen. Win over Seattle early in the year, and then a loss against the Angels in Anaheim. 3-1 overall. Three balls, no strikes. It's James Loney on deck. Pomeranz has retired 5 in a row. 3-1 on Forsythe. Working everything down to Forsythe. A line drive into right. Caught by Reddick. And the Rays are up and down 1-2-3. On to inning 3. 3-0 Oakland. Three-0 ball game. On to the third we go with Jake Odorizzi on the hill for the Rays. Rays flex packs have been a hit with fans across Tampa Bay. Score one for yourself and choose any 3, 6, or 9 games you want to attend throughout the season at great savings and receive members only rewards. To purchase your flex pack, call 888-FAN-RAYS or visit raysbaseball.com/flex. Brandon Moss. The pitch is a strike. — 39 runs batted in there for Moss. Second in the league. Ball one, strike.
We got his partner hitting in front of him. Donaldson is 5th in the league with 35.
Now you look across the board at his numbers. Slugging percentage, on base percentage in the top 10 in both. And there's the hot zone and the not so hot zone.
Yeah, this is a true case of keep the ball down, son.
And he's out on strikes.
How about that? That was a center cut fastball there by Jake Odorizzi, and he was able to power it right by Brandon Moss. Watch where this pitch ends up. They want it in. Thank you.
Yeah, it wasn't exactly down either.
No.
I mean, you want to go down with that pitch if you're going to go anywhere with it.
I think when you look at that breakout, it definitely was in a red square area.
Sometimes you get away with one of those. The slow curve at 68, too high to Cespedes.
That's what that curveball will do, too. The fact that he'll throw that curveball so slow, the way that it plays so well with that fastball. If the hitter's even remotely thinking about that potential with 2 strikes, that fastball can jump on you and beat you in an area where maybe you usually handle it.
And I really think that's what we saw in the recent outings he's had, and the success, the high strikeout counts in those outings against Cleveland and Seattle. 11 strikeouts against the Indians, 7 in 6 innings against the Mariners in his last outing. Good cut right there on the changeup. Similar cut taken by Cespedes on that pitch the first time around.
Yeah, Cespedes has one swing, and it is hard.
Pops it up. That's a foul headed for the seats. And back out again. Josh Reddick on deck. It's foul straight back and going to be out of play. Ricochet right back to the third base coach, Mike Gallego, holding the count at 1 ball 2 strikes. Mike Gallego, former infielder, been a part of this Oakland staff for a long time now. Coaching third, Ty Waller is the coach across the diamond at first base for Bob Melvin. There's a swing and a miss on the fastball up. Elevated there, back-to-back strikeouts.
Well, that's been a pitch. It's been big for Jake. He just continues to execute it. You see this ball ends up just above the belt. Cespedes with that big swing gets a little bit long, can't reach it. It plays very well. Not always the easiest thing to execute, but Jake has really found a new toy with that pitch.
Now Josh Reddick, who struck out his first time. And he takes the off-speed pitch for a strike. 0-2.
Need some pine tar? I know where you can get some.
Foul out of play.
I mean, that helmet is all gooped up. And that's the one thing that's fun when Oakland comes into town. You're between Derek Norris looking like a Viking, and then...
Well, Reddick used to look like one.
Oh, yeah. And now he's got the little goatee, the long chops. Look at the helmet. All beat up. Tarred up.
Big cut to miss. Fastball strikes him out. 1-2-3 as Odorizzi strikes out the side. We go to the home half of inning 3. The Rays are down 3-0.
from the dugout tonight. Good to see him back today doing some exercises with head athletic trainer Ron Porterfield. Here's what he describes as his return to the team, maybe as soon as tomorrow.
At first, I couldn't tell. It got pretty tight when I went back out there to catch, and it's hot out there in Anaheim. So I think that was a little combination of that. I wasn't sure how bad it was, and then took a day to rest it, and then took another day and started doing some treatment and kind of feeling it out. And I was very optimistic. Came in yesterday on the off day and felt pretty good. And then today, just another day of rest. Yesterday and today it feels pretty good.
So the plan is, guys, that he will start tomorrow with Eric Bedard on the mound, and he is also available tonight, which is something Joe Madden wasn't sure about the last 2 games in Anaheim. So good news for the Rays.
Yeah, you're right about that, and we touched on it briefly earlier. He didn't want any part of the DL, and when those, even out in Anaheim, when there was discussion of that, his reaction was negative. So it appears that it's going to work the way he'd like it to work. Here's Loney. James Loney fouls it out of play. The home half of the third is underway.
How about this? Early, still returns are early. 25 2/3 innings so far for Drew Pomeranz. He's given up 16 hits.
Yeah.
9 of them have come on 0-0 or 0-1 counts. Attacking early off of him. Once you get a little bit deeper, the curveball starts to come into play. After you get past those first 2 pitches, only 7 hits given up the rest of the way.
Well, you could see why hitters might want to do that if they get a load of that curveball.
And he throws a lot of fastballs. He's high percentage early in the count. Yeah, you better come out, and if there's one out over the plate, make an offer. And that curveball is very good.
0-2. There's a line drive and a base hit. 2-strike pitch, and the Rays have their first hit, their first base runner.
And I don't know how James Loney got to that pitch. That ball, he tomahawked it out there. 0-2, wanted away. Look where this ends up and in, way up and in.
That's how determined he was to hit a fastball down 0-2. That's a fastball. I'm going to hit it somewhere.
Well, he did. Good start for the Rays leadoff man aboard.
The Rays are down 3-0 here. The Blue Jays have a 2-0 lead in Boston in the top of the 4th. The Red Sox, by the way, signed J.D. Drew, so he'll be joining that club. Yeah, they signed Stephen Drew. Sorry about that. It's Stephen Drew, of course, to a $10 million deal for the rest of the year. That would really be news if they signed J.D. Drew. News enough that they signed Steve.
Well, that's a team that's lost 4 in a row, down again tonight. They've been reeling. Of course, the Rays will see them after Oakland coming weekend.
Yeah, Rays see the Red Sox, and then in the next road trip head up there as well. And there's Stephen Drew. Last year, 13 home runs, and he hit .253. So he's back in Boston. That's a strike. It's now 3-1. The Toronto lead over the Red Sox. Encarnacion hit his 10th home run of the year.
253, 13 and 67. You get $10 million for 4.5 months. It's pretty good work right there. And actually, if he would have just signed at the beginning with the qualifying offer, he'd have had 14.
Yep. Pretty good payday either way you look at it. Wow.
How about that, though? I mean, think about that. So, no one's going to complain about 10 mil, but if you'd have been playing for the last 6 weeks, an extra 4 would have been nice. Found some things to do with that.
Yeah. You don't have to be all that creative either.
you could be quite reckless, actually.
So 2 men on. Escobar walks. Loney moves to second. 2 on, nobody out for Jose Molina. So Molina doing the catching. Batting 9th. A strike, the first pitch. Fastball in. So the Rays trying to make a little noise here, down by 3. Pomeranz misses away. It's 1-1.
Trying to entice Molina to reach for a pitch. More times than not, when you reach for a pitch, it's either a really soft pop-up or you're going to roll something over. And Pomeranz would love to see that ground ball right here.
Molina fouls it right back, puts him down on the count. 1-2. Oakland scored 3 runs, all in the second inning. Top of the order, Brandon Guyer's on deck. The right side, that's going to slice out of play. Cleveland with a 5-1 lead in the top of the 3rd over the Tigers in Cleveland. Popped up. Reddick inside the line, backs up to make the catch. Molina's the first out. Will swing around to the top of the order.
Left fielder, Brandon Guyer.
Brandon Guyer hit the ball on a line his first time. Lined out to the left fielder, Cespedes. Pitch is low. 1 ball, no strikes. Ground ball through the right side, a base hit. Charged by Reddick. Loney will be held at 3rd, and the bases are loaded. On a couple singles and a walk in between, Rays have loaded the bases now in the home half of the 3rd.
A nice at bat there by Brandon Guyer. He lined out to left field in his first at bat, and then right here takes this pitch away, doesn't try to pull it. He goes right with it and shoots that hole on the right side. You can see how far off Brandon Moss was at first base. And James Loney only able to advance 90 feet. Still leaves with the Rays with the bases loaded.
Desmond Jennings with a chance. Great opportunity for the Rays right here. Pomeranz the second time through the order, and he misses low.
This is where it can get dicey for Pomeranz. You know, if you're going to throw that first pitch curveball for a strike, good. It counts in your favor. Now you can go to work. Throw it for a ball. Start to play into the hitter's hands.
And he's down to Jennings, 2-0. Low with a fastball.
Well, you know he doesn't want to go to 3-0. The curveball. Desmond Jennings right now, I'm looking for a fastball out over the plate that I can take a healthy swing at. Throws me a curveball, so be it.
And he misses with the fastball. Up and away. 3-0. Strike on the edge. Barely caught the corner. It's 3-1.
Right on the corner. And if you're Desmond, you go right back, hunt fastball. 3-1.
And a strike on the outside edge, and again barely picking up the corner.
Yeah, and that one looked to be maybe even a little further away than the previous pitch. Right on that corner. Yeah, just a touch. Still there.
So now all the way back to 3 balls, 2 strikes. He fouls it, a fastball. Pomeranz ended 93. A little oomph on the fastball there. The pitch count up to 50. 1 out into the third. Ground ball headed to short. Puto to second, 1. First base, 2. Jennings grounds into the double play. 6-4-3, and Joe Maddon's going to come out to have a conversation with Bill Welke to determine whether he was safe at first base or not.
Well, it was close enough. You don't blame Joe Maddon for this move. They're going to have to turn it quickly with Desmond running. Boy, that is awfully close. See, Brandon Moss not far with the stretch right there. He doesn't get that far off. Let's see. And that ball's still not in the back of the glove. That's going to be really close.
Mm-hmm.
It was within the confines of the glove, but by the time it got to the back of the glove, they may have an argument here.
And they're going to give it a go. You saw the thumbs up from Dave Martinez.
Yep.
Wichita in effect. So they're going to take a look at this one. Just play it first.
And you know what? Unsung hero here, Brandon Geyer. Going in hard at second base, he kept Eric Sogard from being able to step into the throw. So he didn't get a lot on it. Oh boy, that is so close. Oh man.
And you see Jennings going right to the front of the bag.
Yeah. Yeah, Sogard threw that ball standing on second base, stiff front leg, and just couldn't get anything on the throw. That gave Desmond a chance.
So Brian Gorman is the crew chief just to the right side of the screen there in this conversation. Bill Welke, the first base umpire, involved in the call. Very, very close as they show it on the big screen here. And we appear to have a decision. And they're going to call him out at first. They needed Needed a clear indication to overturn it. And so he's out at first. 3-0 Oakland. Challenge now for the rest of this game, challenging the double play here in the third, and it was as close as you can get.
It's so close. I'm going to tell you what, the ball in the back of the glove, that's a catch right there, and you see the foot's kind of blocked out, but what you're going to see in the next frame is a puff of chalk coming off the bag, which will let you know that's when the bag was hit right there by Desmond. Boy, that was so close, and I guarantee you, if that's the only angle they have, a foot's in the way, they're probably going to go with the call that went on the field. That's exactly what they did.
So the Rays were that close to having a run, and the inning continued. But out at first, the double play completed. Now Derek Norris takes a strike, the fourth inning underway. Now 1-1. And just for the record, we didn't hear anything up here, but we've been informed that the ruling on that is that it stands. That's the final determination, that the call stands. 2-1 to count to Norris. 2-2. Odorizzi gave up 3 runs on 3 hits in the third. He has 5 strikeouts tonight as he opens the fourth. Look out, a shot into the seats up the right side.
Okay, now tell me that the curveball doesn't have any effect on that swing. You're crazy. That was a 91-mile-an-hour fastball right out over the plate, and he swung and fouled it off as if it was 101. So tardy on that pitch. That's what that curveball, that 68, 69-mile-an-hour curveball does. It buys you a few miles an hour on that fastball.
The pitch fouled back. Fastball clocked at 91. It's fouled outside of third. Now the 2-2 again. It's fouled back, a fastball. So Norris prolonging this at bat out to 8 pitches so far. That's popped up. Foul ball. Molina digging hard but can't catch up to it. So that will give Norris another opportunity.
When you get Derek Norris, who's so hot at the plate right now, to hit you a pop up like this, you certainly want this play to be made. And just couldn't get there.
The 10th pitch of this at bat is fouled up the right side, and that's going to be out of play. Three runs, 4 hits allowed by Odorizzi. A couple of walks to go with the 5 strikeouts. Another foul ball. You talk about running up a pitch count. He went to 3-2 and walked in the second inning, and now 11 pitches into this one, and we're not even to a full count yet. Only 25-year-old catcher Derek Norris. Now we're 3-2.
Well, the one thing that pitch, the purpose that it served, you go up and in like that on Norris, kind of, he was getting ready to dive out over the plate, so you blow him back a little bit. That comes something right here, middle away. Pick your pitch. Right back in.
Pitch of this at bat, and he fouls it again.
Better choice there. That previous pitch, you saw Molina calling for that ball, get ready to set up on the inner half. They go back out away, and we're closing on 2 at bats here with Norris, almost 20 pitches to him. 20 of the 70 it'll be.
I mean, this is as many pitches almost as David Price throws in 1 inning. And ball 4, a fastball is too high. So he draws the walk. 14 pitches in that at bat.
That speaks to seeing a lot of pitches. It also speaks to Derek Norris' discipline. Because after 14 pitches and numerous foul balls, you got a guy in swing mode, and he's still able to lay off the elevated fastball out over the plate. Take that walk.
Now the shortstop, Nick Punto. Punto, veteran infielder, now 36 years old. Added from the Dodgers. There's a pitch that just missed. Hit 255 with the Dodgers last year. It's a tap foul. 1-1. The Rays infield hoping to get a chance to turn a double play and nullify that walk to Norris.
How about this, Dwayne? Speaking of the double play, do you realize that the Rays, the second fewest double plays turned in the American League, just 28, that infield defense?
Well, they'd like to get an opportunity to turn one here. 1 ball, 2 strikes.
Well, and Jake Odorizzi, his ground ball percentage just 36 on the season. He has yet to deliver one of those double play balls on the ground, but got to get one at some point. This would be a great time to do it.
So Eric Sogard, the second baseman, waiting on deck. There goes Norris, and the pitch is fouled back. And just in case there was a ground ball, Oakland had Norris running on the pitch, trying to stay away from a potential double play.
Yeah, and you trust Punto to be able to put the ball in play, because Jake Odorizzi, not easy to run on. Derek Norris is not a guy that's going to swipe 50 bags. So you got a chance for a strike him out, throw him out with him going, but that's where the trust in your hitter at the plate to move the baseball is a good thing.
This one fouled off Molina's mask. Oakland comes here red hot, winning 9 out of their last 10, 4 straight on the road. Swept the weekend series in Cleveland from the Indians, including 13-3 on Sunday. They've had 8 10+ runs scored games this year, 8 of those. The only team with as many would be the Colorado Rockies. You know where they play their home games. Over to first, and Norris is back in. Takes the count to 2-2. So he's already made 21 pitches here in the 4th inning with a runner at first and a 2-2 count on Punto.
Well, this is what this Oakland lineup is capable of doing. You know, they were running away with the walks lead in Major League Baseball. They've drawn 3 so far tonight. And the pitch count for Odorizzi climbing.
And the count is full. And when you find yourself making a lot of pitches in a short period of time, that can really take its toll.
Yeah, it just starts to mount. I mean, now you're approaching 79 pitches, and really, as far as outs go, in just 3 innings of work.
A long shot down the right field line. It's going to be a foul ball. He had the necessary distance, it would appear, but foul. And so this 3-2 count We'll find Odorizzi making yet another pitch. Reminder, Rays fans, don't miss tomorrow's Wednesday night showdown presented by Mazda as the Rays take on the Oakland A's. It all begins at 6:30 right here on Sun Sports. Runner goes, swing and a foul tip, strikeout, throw down, safe. The call, the tag high on the helmet.
And the double clutch by Molina. That was a swing through. Maybe it even looked like that ball may have been tipped into Molina's glove. But it wasn't until the second effort to get it out. Right there, got to get a hold of it now. And just that flash of a split second. And you know what? This is close here. The slide by Norris. But the Rays cannot challenge. They do not have any.
So it's a 10-pitch strikeout of Punto, and there was the double clutch.
You know, and Joe Madden is coming out to talk about this, but you know, here's the deal: they do not have a challenge left, and you can't go. Yeah, he's looking in there, but there's no challenges left. You get one, and if you don't get it right, you lose it, and then you can't even go out and ask them to look at something until the 7th inning or later. So
Talking with Jim Wolf right now. So they had a nice conversation, and that was about the extent of it.
Yeah, I mean, your challenges are done, and so even though this is close, it doesn't matter. You don't have any challenges left. And that rule with no challenges, when you can go out and ask an umpire to take a look at a close play, doesn't go into effect until the 7th inning or later. So there was...
Maybe that was just an informational discussion. We took a look. We thought he was out. I know there's nothing we can really do about it, but just want to let you know.
Except for the fact that there was the turn and look into the dugout for the thumbs up or thumbs down.
Yeah.
And there's no, you can't do anything about it.
Right,
so
so it's just informational out there. Our guys took a look at it. Hey, you think he was out? What do you think? Okay, fine. Just let you know. Maybe you owe us one.
Maybe. I can buy that.
Well, hey, just a friendly conversation. What could it hurt? One ball, one strike here on Eric Sogard. There's ball two with a 14-pitch at bat to Derek Norris, who walked, and then the 10-pitch at bat to Nick Punto, who struck out on that pitch. A steal of second by Norris.
Some heavy innings there. 26, now 27, still counting.
And it's 3-1.
And you know what we've seen? We've seen the release point start to go awry here with Odorizzi, yanking some pitches down. It's that workload has climbed.
Yep, that's very
quickly.
Yeah, that's what it will do in a short period of time when you're making that many pitches. Cesar Ramos down there in the bullpen.
And you know, he came out of his start in Anaheim so quickly that he would be available to pitch tonight if need be. And I'll tell you what, if Oakland keeps working these at bats, you may see him get up.
Well, another 3-2 count. That's 3 in a row. And all of this means that Odorizzi will make his 30th pitch of the inning. We've had a walk and a strikeout. This is the 30th pitch, and there's ball 4. So 30 pitches in this short period of time
by the bottom 3 hitters in the order. And that's we keep talking about it, but there's really no dry spot in this lineup. You may have some guys down at the bottom that their averages aren't that high, but everybody works at bats. That's just the way that they do it. That's why they have so many walks.
So Hickey's out there on the hill. Madden making a call down to the bullpen, and the Rays talk this situation over. 2 men on, 1 out. Honor our veterans next Sunday, May 25th. Purchase this special ticket package and receive a Salute to Veterans t-shirt for just $25. For tickets, visit raysbaseball.com/special events. Cesar Ramos at the ready down there in the bullpen, getting up here with 2 men on and 1 out, and 30 pitches in the inning.
And now you face the top of the lineup, 3rd time through. Coco Crisp has already doubled twice. He recognized the curveball on his last double, right out of the hand.
And the first pitch is a fastball. He takes it for a strike.
And he'll be a tough guy to double up. So if you're thinking about that at all, he's going to have to hit the ball on the nose to one of those middle infielders or down the line, wherever it's going to be. He's got to get there quick if you're going to double him.
Up and away. 1 ball, 1 strike. Odorizzi struck out the side in the 3rd inning on 15 pitches. He's over 30 pitches right now here in the 4th. Foul back, 1-2. He's on the verge of making his 90th pitch of the night. That comes back, and it's strike 3 call. Crisp caught looking.
Never accounted for the changeup, and he gets frozen by it right down the middle. But look at Coco Crisp, completely fooled by that pitch, and yet at the same time knew he was done.
Strikeout number 7. John Jaso. Pitch is too high to him. The prolonged at bat by Norris set the stage for this one. It's a strike to Jaso at the knees, 1-1.
This has been a game where the changeup has played a more prominent role than the last couple of starts for Odorizzi. We've seen a number of very good ones too.
It's a 2-1 count. Two one, chopped foul. That takes the count to 2-2. .94 pitches for Odorizzi. Technically through 3 2/3. That's what this Oakland club will do to you.
To everybody.
And the count is full. So this is the 4th full count he's had in this inning. Closing in on 40 pitches. Runners go, swing and a miss. Jaso out in front, strikes out. They do not score, and we go to the bottom of the 4th. 3-0 Oakland. Today's baseball on Sun Sports is brought to you by the Florida Department of Transportation, who reminds you to drive sober or get pulled over, and by Bluebell Ice Cream. We go into the bottom of the fourth inning. The Rays are down 3-0. Rays got out of the top half of this inning. No runs scored in that fourth inning. Coming out of that inning, time of games this year has started to become a topic. Baseball is interested in addressing that. This top half of the fourth was a classic example of somehow what they have to address. 40 pitches, 5 hitters, the ball not put into play. The top half of the fourth required 22 minutes. They have to somehow address it. We love this game. Millions of people love this game. That is not what this game has been about for over 100 years.
Dwayne, I read an article by Ian Malinowski on D-Rays Bay, and he breaks down. I mean, he goes into great detail. I'm not even going to jump in there and even try to even break down the information that he has. It's a great read. If you look it up, you can find it. And the name of the article is Why Are Rays Games So Long? And the amount of research that he put into this has to be off the charts. But the bottom line is this. It is epidemic with this team, with the hitters and the pitchers, the amount of time they take, the amount of pitches they throw, the amount of pitches they see in an at-bat, everything combined. And it's just a great read. The bottom line is this. There's no relief coming soon from this team. I mean, really, they're going to play games that extend themselves because everybody, whether it be the pitching staff or the hitters, are way below average in pace as far as when you break it down across the league.
Yeah, well.
And so that's how you can have a game in Seattle that's 2-0 with 5 combined hits, 9 innings, take 3 hours and 21 minutes. Mm-hmm. I mean, that's it's gross is what it is. It's not even baseball.
Yeah.
I mean, 5 combined hits, a 2-0 score.
Longoria's done his bit. He went out on 1 pitch here in the bottom of the fourth on a bouncer to third, and Myers with a 1-1 count. The trend of the game, and has been for a few years, has been working counts. Good. That's a great idea. But it's gotten to the point where what we just saw, and this is exactly what Oakland did. They worked the count in the top of the fourth inning. And Derek Norris opened with that 14-pitch at bat. A remarkable feat in and of itself. But it does illustrate the issue at hand here and the challenge to that. 3-1 now, the count on Will Myers. And there's ball 4, a little wide.
Well, here's the thing. It's not going to earn you any more fans. I mean, you start thinking of the big sports and how quick they move, and there's always constant action. Baseball's always notoriously been slow enough. And it's becoming, I mean, like you said, around the league, a league-wide issue. Of course, the Rays are leading the way. In fact, there was another article written where they said that the 2014 Tampa Bay Rays are the slowest team in the history of Major League Baseball, and had the numbers to back that up. Slowest in the history of the game.
That's pretty compelling.
And by a pretty good margin, too.
So now Sean Rodriguez hits with a runner at first and 1 out. The pitch is wide. 1 ball, no strikes. So there we have it. A 1 ball, no strike count. It's a 1-1 count. Well, they are addressing that issue and trying to figure out ways that you can incorporate the approach to the game now into trimming some of those game times. And here's the point about all that ball popping away from Norris. 2-1. Not that it's harsh criticism of the game. I think it's a necessary concern that people who are vitally involved and interested in this game have recognized that needs to be addressed in whatever manner that they can address it and be creative. But that top of the fourth was a prime example of what they're up against. 2-1, skied straight to center. Chris going to have a lot of room. Now comes in. That'll be the second out.
I got two things that they can start with. Get the ball back from the catcher. Get on the mound. Get on the mound, pick a pitch, and throw it. Hitter, get in the box, get ready to hit. I mean, come on.
Yeah, they used to, at one point, started to call balls if it took longer than necessary.
You'd be walking guys on without throwing a pitch. That'd be even crazier. No one's ready in time. You know, what was that, the 12-second rule a few years back? 12 seconds.
Yeah, well,
there's a lot of guys that are double that in between pitches.
A lot of pondering going on.
It's a thinking man's game, Brian.
Let's think quicker.
With you.
First impression's usually the best anyway. Go with it.
Boys, that's the truth. That really is the truth.
1 ball, no strikes.
You think about, you know, being a pitcher and being out there for all of those years, coming up and facing tons and tons of hitters and learning your craft. When you throw a pitch, you know what's working that night, how you're going to try to set certain guys up. And when you throw a pitch based off his reaction, how he takes it, how he swings at it, body language, you almost immediately know what you want to go with next.
Yeah, where are you going next? What's your next move?
And typically, you release a pitch, the catcher catches it, and you know.
Yeah.
You get back up on the mound, and you start thinking then, you start talking yourself out of your instinct, and you end up going to a pitch that maybe isn't a good idea.
Yeah, that's what you talk about when a hitter or a pitcher gets into a rhythm.
Yeah.
That's what you have. Pitch in on Forsythe is fouled away, and the count's 1-2. So the Rays with a couple hits came close to scoring a run in the third on a double play ball by Jennings that wound up being challenged. The Rays lost that challenge, and so the double play stood. Now 2 outs with Myers at first. Pomerantz, this is low. Drew Pomerantz, his great-grandfather played baseball back in the 20s. He was a left-hander by the name of Garland Buckeye. That's a great 1920s name. But back then, those games, 2 hours. If they went over 2 hours, something was wrong. Pitch inside with the runner going. So the count is full. I remember reading a story once. It was written, I think, in the 30s, and they were complaining because the game times had extended themselves to 2 hours and 15 minutes, 2 hours and 20 minutes, taking way too long. That was in the 30s.
Now that gets us into the 5th. Maybe.
Full count here to Forsythe. Pitch popped up right to the mound, and Pomerantz now moves off. Donaldson coming in to make the catch, and the Rays are out in the 4th. We go to the 5th, 3-0 Oakland. Oakland has taken a 3-0 lead. Coco Chris doubled in 2 runs. His second double of the night. That came in the second inning, and then he scored on the base hit to left center by John Jaso. Drew Pomerantz, the young left-hander on the hill, has limited the Rays to just 2 hits and a couple walks through 4. And our game heads into the 5th inning with Jake Odorizzi surviving a 40-pitch 4th inning, a scoreless inning, by the way. Has 96 pitches through 4. And as he opens the 5th inning, first pitch by Josh Donaldson is fouled right back into the screen. Cesar Ramos is throwing in the Rays bullpen up the right field line. Strike 2.
You know, Jake came into this game averaging over 19 pitches an inning, 19.2. Obviously above that even here tonight.
Ooh, pretty close right there. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Here's something they could do to speed up the game and maybe help pitchers. People are talking about injuries to pitchers' arms. Widen the strike zone.
Yeah, right there.
Yeah, what's wrong with that for a strike? It was a strike, number 1, to begin with. But widen that strike zone. Let's go.
It would get more hitter. First of all, it would help out, obviously, the pace, pitchers. But hitters would go to the plate knowing, I got to be ready to hit.
Yep.
You don't make it ridiculous, but put them up there ready to hit.
You know, there is I think a pretty solid theory on one of the reasons that pitchers' arms are breaking down the way they are. It's more difficult to get into that strike zone. You've got to do more things to manipulate a pitch, and you do that with your arm, putting stress on your arm.
Oh yeah.
To get inside the zone.
You cannot see. You can't pitch in the zone anymore.
Yeah.
You have to be a swing and miss guy, or you don't make it hardly anymore. I mean, the guys that pitch to contact, they're not really held in high regard anymore.
Sure.
It's guys that have wipeout, strikeout stuff, and that you're right. The velocity's up. You know, breaking balls. A lot of factors go in. How about the comments that Juan Nieves, the pitching coach for the Boston Red Sox, made about that very thing? He's like, you're throwing in a shoebox.
Yeah, absolutely.
For goodness sake.
I think he's got a point.
He does.
He's right on. Well, we've identified some issues. I don't know if we're solving them, but
there'll be plenty of time to solve them.
There's a roller foul up the right side.
Well, the fact that it's become a topic of conversation, and not just between us, but around the game.
Yeah, it's nationally a topic of conversation without question.
Well, we got the memo tonight that we must talk about it at some point during this telecast. And I think we did a pretty good job.
All right, we're doing the best we can with what we got. You know, that's all you can do. Just make sure you always do that. Pitch fouled right back into the screen. So another full count.
Hey, there you go.
Yeah, he throws a lot of strikes.
He does not mess around. And his mantra is I want to own the plate, pound the zone, and get you out in 3 pitches or less.
Yeah, get a decision done early in the count. Popped up right side. This is Sean Rodriguez angling out from second base. That'll be the first out in the 5th inning. Well, Saturday is a full day of MLB action, beginning with the Rangers taking on the Tigers on Fox Sports 1. Then it's the season premiere of Baseball Night in America on Fox as the Cardinals battle the Reds. The Royals square off against the Angels. The Nationals take on the Pirates. Our MLB doubleheader begins Saturday at 3:30 p.m. Eastern on Fox Sports 1 and continues at 7 p.m. Eastern on Fox. There's Brandon Moss. Pitch is down. Shift on for Moss as he swings through this one. It's 1-1.
Brandon Moss, he's coming off the American League Player of the Week, very productive, 3 home runs, average over 450. And Jake Odorizzi tonight done a nice job at tying him up. See that he's had a number of those fastballs, and that one just at 89. But the swing from Moss is getting a little bit long, and he's been able to beat him over the bat.
Just up enough.
Just up enough. And that is a difficult pitch to make consistently.
Fly ball into center. Jennings is there to make the catch. So 2 gone in the 5th inning. He's up to 109 pitches now. And not surprising, that's a career high for him on a night like tonight. 40 of those pitches came in the 4th inning. His previous high was 101, so he's at 109 right now. Cespedes is 0 for 2. He's gone up and struck him out twice with fastballs. It's down and away. Later tried to give him a little help with the pitch off the plate. 2-0. Just like that, he's behind Cespedes. 3 balls, no strikes. Now 3-0. The Rays put the shift on defensively. And ball 4. So a 4-pitch walk. Josh Reddick will be the hitter, and Joe Madden comes out of the Rays dugout with the pitch count at 113. That's going to be it for Jake Odorizzi. 4 2/3. Back with a new pitcher in a moment. The search for the next Fox Sports Florida girl is underway. Are you a passionate Florida sports fan? Then you could join Annie Lee and Jordana in representing the Sunshine State's best sports teams on our network. Submit your application today at foxsportsflorida.com/girls and tell us why you deserve to be the next Fox Sports Florida girl. 113 pitches for Jake Odorizzi. 4 2/3. He leaves with a runner at first. Cesar Ramos facing Josh Reddick. The pitch is low. Our Fiat pitching change featuring the lefty Cesar Ramos making his 13th appearance. 2-0. Chop, that'll be foul. 2-1. Rizzi 8 strikeouts tonight and 4 2/3.
Yeah, to go along with the 5 walks and this Oakland lineup. I mean, how many extended at bats did he go through? He had to work extremely hard tonight. 13 pitches?
Career high 113.
4 2/3 innings. I mean, that is just astounding number of pitches, and it's a credit to the Oakland lineup how many pitches they fouled off. Forcing those deep at-bats, pitch counts.
Fly ball into right. Myers will come in now. So a walk and a man left. James Loney will open the bottom of the 5th for the Rays. They need some runs. Down 3-0. Drew Pomerantz 3-0 as we go to the bottom of the 5th. Now time for you to tweet your photo using hashtag #SunSportsFanPhoto for a chance to have it shown in an upcoming game broadcast brought to you by AT&T. James Loney, Yunel Escobar, and Jose Molina due to bat in the 5th inning against Pomerantz. He had a base hit back in the 3rd inning and takes this pitch for a ball.
This is right where Drew Pomerantz started to get into a little bit of trouble in that 3rd inning. Base hit by Loney, a walk to Escobar. End up getting Jennings on a 6-4-3 bases loaded double play to end it. But still, this is where it got started. Now James Loney up in the count, 2-0.
Loney's base hit, a line center on an 0-2 count. There's Escobar on deck. Two and one. See Pomerantz 6'5". You list him at 240 pounds. There's ball 3-1. We mentioned his great grandfather Garland Buckeye, who pitched in the big leagues in the 20s. He was 6 feet tall and weighed 260 pounds. also played professional football.
Yeah, nose tackle.
Foul ball back, and the count is 3-2.
6 foot 260. That is a thick man.
Also a left-hander.
Oh, nice.
Yep, played for the Washington Senators briefly, and then with the Cleveland Indians and the New York Giants.
Owned the inside part of the plate. Who's going to do anything about it?
It's foul out of play. Played baseball in the summer and some football professionally in the winter. Only fouls away that 3-2 pitch. Odorizzi worked 4 2/3. His final line: 3 runs, 4 hits, 5 walks, and 8 strikeouts. It's 26 strikeouts for Odorizzi in his last 15 2/3 innings. And Loney, just a little bit of that one.
Derek Norris could not corral it. It drops out of that glove, and that buys James Loney another pitch.
There's strike 3 call. Loney leading off, caught looking on the 3-2 pitch.
Now, this was a perfect pitch by Pomerantz, down and away. And he really drives it right to the spot. You see right there, 9 right on the corner. Just above the knees.
So his 3rd strikeout. Oh, Yunel Escobar. A ball and no strikes. Pomerantz working in the 5th inning right now with 77 pitches. Making just his 3rd start, his 12th appearance overall this year. 2-0. Made 82 pitches in 5 innings against the White Sox his last time out. 2-1. There's a shot right back over the mound and through into center. Pomerantz hit the deck as that one whistled by.
And that's all he really could have done. Try to get out of the way. You know, Escobar able to get good extension on a ball out over the plate, and talking about driving it back up the middle. Yikes.
So a hard-in line drive. Escobar is aboard with 1 out. And here's Jose Molina. Molina 0 for 1 tonight. Hitting .113, 6 out of 53. Strike. Pomerantz has dropped his earned run average to under 1 now. And those 2 5-inning starts against Seattle and Chicago, no runs, spread over 10 innings. So far, no runs through 4 1/3 tonight. Earned run average down to 0.96. Molina fouls the fastball back. 1-2. Baltimore out in front of Pittsburgh in the top of the 7th inning. That's a 6-1 score now. Chris Davis, number 4. Nelson Cruz has hit number 13. Here, Oakland scored 3 in the 2nd inning. The Rays threatened in the 3rd. Molina still alive with a 1-2 count. Orioles adding another run in Pittsburgh to make it 7-1 now. They continue to hit in the 7th. One on, one out in the 5th inning. Molina did not go on the appeal, says Bill Welke. 2-2.
It's tough to lay off this pitch. That's that curveball at Pomerantz. It's close, but Molina clearly holds up there. Buy him another opportunity.
That run for the Orioles in the 7th, a home run by Chris Davis. So he's hit 2 tonight, numbers 4 and 5. Count holds at 2-2 to Molina. Blue Jays lead the Red Sox 7-2. The bottom of the 6th inning at Fenway. The Red Sox signed Stephen Drew to a contract today. He'll log in at $10 million for the rest of the year. Boston starting today 20-23. Rays starting today 19-26. The count is full. So the pitch count on Pomerantz approaching 90 now. A strikeout and a base hit here, and this is 2nd full count of the inning. Shortstop, Punto, Sogard 1, Moss 2, 6-4-3. Molina grounds into a double play. So we're through 5, headed into the 6th inning with a score of 3-0 Oakland.
leading the Rays 3-0. Coming up on Friday, the Boston Red Sox are in town, and this item can be yours. It's a special Alex Cobb bobblehead with a military theme if you get a part of the ticket tandem presented by the St. Petersburg Times, or the Tampa Bay Times. You get your nod to the troops with this Alex Cobb military theme bobblehead, courtesy of the Tampa Bay Times. Go to raysbaseball.com/tandem. And on the box itself, there's a message from Alex in addition to wearing the military gear. It says, "To all the men and women serving our country, including my brother RJ, thank you. Your sacrifices inspire me every day." Signed, Alex Cobb. RJ Cobb, Alex's older brother, won a Purple Heart as a captain in the Army and did a great job serving our country. So there it is, guys. This is a really cool item. Alex Cobb, military-based bobblehead. Yours if you go to raysbaseball.com/tandem for the Friday night game against the Boston Red Sox. Back to you.
Cesar Ramos just made the first pitch of the inning, but it's waved off by Pat Holberg. Apparently, with Derek Norris stepping out, Holberg did grant time. So instead of it being one strike, they'll start even again.
Where's Bill Miller when you need him?
Yeah.
Wrong crew.
First pitch now is down. Norris doesn't need any help as that 14 pitch at bat he had to open the fourth inning demonstrated. A full count the first time around when he hit in the second inning. 1 ball, 1 strike. Oviedo starts to loosen in the bullpen for the Rays. Tap foul. So it's 1-2. Three runs, 4 hits for Oakland. All 3 runs came in the second, and 3 of the hits came in that frame. Their other hit was a double by Crisp in the first. Had runners in 4 of the 5 innings. Stranding 6 so far tonight. And another full count on Derek Norris for the 3rd straight time. He goes 3-2.
Seeing the ball extremely well. 25 pitches now. You mentioned a guy's batting average and what he's been doing the last few weeks.
He draws the walk.
They just continue to add to their major league leading total in that category. Now 6 in the game.
Yeah, they have 198 walks so far this year.
Over under on 200 by the end.
Here's Nick Punto. You going to be optimistic or not?
I'm going to be. I'm going to be. Yes.
Okay.
Under.
Good. Well, that leaves me with over, but
you could go push.
But I'll try to be optimistic.
You could go push it 200.
Yeah.
I'm saying only 1 more. You could say 2 more.
All right. We'll do that. A couple of optimists.
This is what it's come to.
This Oakland lineup, they will just work you to death.
Oh, yeah. Yes, they will.
Soft little looper. That's going to fall in there for a base hit. And Norris will head to third. He saw that off the bat, and he was thinking first to third. Punto aboard. Nobody out now.
That was a very good read by Derek Norris. This ball you see by Ramos, a little cutter in, gets in on Punto. He inside outs it, and Norris reads it well. What's this? Right there, not a hesitation. And Maraud's into third.
Yeah, you wouldn't want that guy chasing you.
Just not with an axe.
Here's Eric Sogard. Shows the bunt. That pitch is too high. Sogard single. Dropped a base hit into right field in the second and scored a run. He walked in the fourth. For the first. Nick Punto, the runner there with Norris at third. Cesar Ramos in relief of Jake Odorizzi. Nice eyewear there by Eric Sogard as he hits here in the sixth inning. Puts down the bunt. Throw back to second. Safe there. Everybody's safe. Loney made the quick decision to go to second base, and Punto beat the throw in.
Well, nice bunt here. It's trying to split the defenders, but Loney comes up with it. Being lefty is favorable. But you can see right there that Nick Punto able to get in safely, and that now loads the bases with nobody.
So the bases are loaded, nobody out. Coco Crisp will be the hitter. Oviedo's been busy in the bullpen. Madden going over this situation.
Wants to make sure that he sets his defense and very clear on what he wants them to do with the baseball. Yeah, if Joe's going to come out and pull a guy, it's going to be the slow trolling walk. If he comes out like that, then he's got a message for everybody in that infield on what they're going to do defensively. And they need to come up with something big here. Top of the order, bases loaded, nobody out.
Well, a big situation because the Rays right now still very much in this game, down 3-0.
Yeah.
And Oakland in the sixth with the bases loaded and nobody retired. A chance to break it wide open. And the big cut and the foul ball right back, strike one. Well, Chris has seen a lot of breaking stuff and off-speed stuff tonight. And he takes the fastball in. 0-2. Strike three call. He came back with a fastball. Just a little bit extra on that fastball over the prior one. And So Ramos picks up a big strikeout here of Coco Crisp.
Boy, 2 back-to-back fastballs right on the inside corner. Coco Crisp, no argument at all. He knew that was a perfect pitch there by Caesar. Really the last 2. That's what you needed there. You're one step closer.
Now here's John Jaso. Jaso singled in a run in the second. He's 1 for 3.
Hit just 125 off of left-handed pitching compared to 293 against righties.
Strike 1.
So you got a chance here. Cesar Ramos, he can make a couple of quality pitches to get up in the count. You can look to wipe Jaso out too.
One ball, 1 strike. Well, the walk started the inning. Punto singled. Sogard put down the bunt, was safe on a fielder's choice. Now 1 and 2, big cut, just a little bit of that one.
Caesar not afraid left on left to throw in. That little late sink right there takes it right under the swing of Jaso. And now you could go back in there with that pitch if you're feeling good with it. You can also sweep that slider away. You could even throw the fastball away. Molina can set up off the plate for you. You got a pitch to play with here. But you definitely want to go for that strikeout here.
Now the 1-2. Here it is. Oh, he just missed.
Well, that was the one. You know, 1-2 fastball. Molina's going to get off the plate and try to really extend things. See how far off the plate he is, and then he's going to stick it right there and try to present it well. Pat Hoberg, but you can see that ball was clearly off the plate. Sometimes that doesn't matter.
So now the count, 2 balls, 2 strikes. The foul ball forces another pitch. Molina, a little conversation to be had with Ramos. Both bullpens occupied at the moment. Sogard over at first. They're going to give him a base hit on that bunt. The count to Jaso one more time, and now we go to 3-2. Would not offer.
No, and not a bad pitch by Caesar at all. A better job by Jaso of taking it.
Foul back. Bases loaded. 3-2 pitch to Jaso, and he fouls it again. Boy, these guys are something else.
I mean, it's been all game long. It has been all game long. Just no let up. Constantly working at bats, not giving anything away, fouling off tough pitches, staying alive in counts. It gets to be extremely frustrating for a pitcher. It forces you to work so hard.
The 3-2. Fly ball into left. Geyer makes the catch. Tag. Norris will hang on, and the bases remain loaded. Geyer, a nice job to get into position there. That ball not overly deep into left. So Jaso flies out. Now the Rays will make the pitching change.
This was a better job by Geyer. His first opportunity, maybe got in a little bit too close, but he sets himself up nicely here. Catches that ball moving towards the plate, gets rid of it quickly, keeps Norris right at third base. That was well done by the Rays left fielder.
So we'll see a new pitcher from the Rays bullpen when we return. So the bases loaded. 2 outs here in the 6th. Juan Carlos Oviedo on the hill now to face Josh Donaldson.
And no easy task, but Oviedo on for the 12th time. Almost a strikeout an inning. The opponent's average very good at 178. And a big out right here for the Rays to get to keep this just at a 3-run deficit.
A strike. Yeah, you figure the Rays' comeback chances hang in the balance right here with this threat.
That doesn't look good. 520 average with the bases loaded. It's 13 out of 25.
How about that?
Crossing into Pat Tabler territory.
Absolutely. Just thinking of that.
He was amazing. What did he end up? We were just talking about this in Anaheim. I think it was like 44 for 89.
Yeah, something
and
like
he could have been 45.
Yeah, just under 500.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And his last at bat. Yeah. Some controversy with that scoring.
And I loved his approach. You think about bases loaded situation. The pressure's on the pitcher. And, and Tabler's idea was never to try to hit a home run. Just hit the ball up the middle. 0-2, big cut right there.
And I know that he's 13 out of 25, but that was not a hit the ball up the middle swing.
No, it was not.
That was I'm going for a home run.
Yeah.
Good change up here by Oviedo. Yeah.
Well, he liked the general location of where he saw that pitch. And then it wasn't exactly where he thought it was going to stay.
No, it's got to be able to get there. And Oviedo throws that changeup with such good arm speed that easy to fool hitters.
It's away and rolls away from Molina, not far enough to give anybody any ideas. Norris at third, Punto at second, Sogard at first. 2. He got him. Big cut, swing and a miss, down to one knee, and the Rays get out of that base and loaded situation. Here's the strikeout pitch to leave them loaded. 3-0 Oakland. Rays trail the Oakland A's tonight. The pitching performance presented by Volkswagen for Drew Pomeranz. 5 shutout innings.
Well, Drew Pomeranz, much like all the pitching, it's been arduous. A lot of pitches. Rays had a couple of opportunities off of him, but ultimately he would make big pitches when he needed to. Gave up just the 3 hits with a couple of walks and nothing on the scoreboard. 82 pitches last time out, 89 tonight.
Dan Otero, the new pitcher, also a new center fielder. That's Craig Gentry. Gentry patrolling center field here as we move into the 6th. It's the top of the Rays order, Brandon Guyer. Guyer ahead. 2 balls, no strikes. Otero out of South Florida.
A lot of games, a lot of innings.
.30 count. Rays got 3 hits, 2 walks, no runs off Pomeranz. Three and 1.
Right at the top of the zone. It's the call there on Guyer. I mean, right at the top.
3-2 now.
You know, and that's an interesting place for Otero to be pitching, because this is a guy in 3 seasons, 76 2/3 total innings. He's given up 1 home run. That's over 64 appearances.
It's a foul ball down in front of Tom Foley and beyond.
Everything here against Brandon Guyer has been up, up, up in the zone.
This full count, first one on Guyer, but the 6th worked by the Rays. Oakland working 9 full counts. Ground ball headed to short. Pinto with the grab and the throw in time. Brandon Guyer is the first out in the 6th inning. All of those pitches up, and naturally a ground ball is first out.
Of course.
Desmond Jennings. Rays came the closest to scoring a run tonight when Jennings hit the ground ball to short in the 3rd inning. But the A's turned it into an inning-ending double play. This is that pitch, the slider by plenty. 0-2. One ball, 2 strikes to Desmond. Desmond has seen the average drop under 240 now. A 4 for 42 run. Fly ball into right. Reddick makes the catch. 2 gone. Here's Evan Longoria, who has struck out and grounded out. Evan at 260 for the year. Montero misses away. Check swing and a hopper to 3rd, even with the bag. Donaldson's throw in time to just get Longoria. And it's a 1-2-3-6. On to the 7th, 3-0 Oakland. Tonight, the Rays' wives will host a spring cleaning drive to benefit the Pet Pal thrift store May 24th. Fans are asked to bring donations of gently used items in good condition to Lot 7 outside of Gate 1. For more information, visit www.raysbaseball.com/petdrive. Juan Carlos Oviedo out there to start the 7th inning. He got the strikeout of Josh Donaldson to end the 6th and leave the bases loaded in the top of that frame for Oakland. Brandon Moss takes the first pitch and it's away. 1 ball, no strikes. Shift employed for Moss. Escobar on the first base side of second, and that's Sean Rodriguez out there in short right field. Moss unleashes a mighty cut and misses. It's 1-1.
It's been the MO for him all night long. Jake Odorizzi was able to take advantage of that with fastballs up in the zone, top of the zone.
Moss,
a number of swing throughs.
the American League Player of the Week. He was 10 for 22 last week, reaching for that one and fouled it. Bat splintering off, barrel end. So he's got a new one.
It's almost close to a Jimmy Reese fungo.
A Jimmy Reese fungo.
Jimmy Reese. Well, when I got it, came up with the Angels, and he would sit out there with that fungo bat shaved in half with the flat end, and hit ball after ball to the pitchers in the outfield.
Yeah.
I mean,
Babe Ruth's roommate.
Yes.
Line drive up the right side. That's a fair ball, and will bounce into the stands there over the low wall for a ground rule double. Yeah, no, Jimmy Reese, he'd be out there. You just want to go sit next to him.
Oh, the stories.
He'd be great.
The stories.
He said he really roomed with Babe's suitcase. He didn't room with Babe Ruth. He was very seldom in that room. Yeah, great stuff. It's one of the great things about the game, a young guy comes up, a broadcaster, a guy, whatever, player, like in your case, you're just 1 degree removed from the Babe right there.
Yeah, how about that?
That's pretty cool.
And listening to those stories.
Yep. Cespedes lifts a high fly down the left field side toward the line, and right there for it is Geyer. So that's the first out here in the 7th inning.
Right fielder, Josh Reddick.
It'll be Josh Reddick. Reddick with a couple strikeouts and a fly ball to right field. Brandon Moss on second with the leadoff double. The pitch is a strike on the outside corner, getting word that Crisp, who, as we mentioned earlier tonight, had a little neck issue the last week, has left this game with soreness in his neck again, and that's why Gentry was out there in center field. The 0-1 fouled away. Odorizzi worked 4 2/3 tonight, gave up 3 runs on 4 hits, made 113 pitches. He had 8 strikeouts, walked 5. Cesar Ramos worked 1 scoreless inning, as it turns out. Picked up a strikeout, a couple of hits allowed and a walk, and Juan Carlos Oviedo came on to strike out Donaldson to give the Rays staff their 10th strikeout tonight. And he gets ready to chase. The high fastball gets him. Strikeout number 11.
The Rays are really getting good at these elevated fastballs. Out over the plate, so enticing to a hitter. They see the whole baseball, so it looks like a balloon. You just see they can't get to it.
Derek Norris has walked 3 times. He's gone 3-2 in the count every time up, and had that 14 pitch at bat in the 4th inning. First pitch is a strike. Top half of the 7th. Fastball at 94 misses the zone. Davis has just hit his 3rd home run of the night in Pittsburgh for the Orioles. A 3 home run night for Davis. It's 9-2 Baltimore in the top of the 9th. 2-1. Davis having one of those nights like he started last year with. He's 4 for 5 with 4 runs and 5 runs batted in. Now 2 balls and a strike to count to Norris.
Saw how quickly he could heat up. They had that opening series last year, 3 homers, 11 runs batted in, and he never really quit.
Ground ball toward the middle, and right there is Sean Rodriguez. They retire Norris. Leadoff double, but the runner's stranded. 3-0 Oakland.
I'm here at Tropicana Field. Alex Cobb in the Rays dugout. Good to see him before the game when we finally have determined that he will pitch official word on Thursday to wrap up this series against the Oakland A's. So here's how it shakes out, guys. Bedard tomorrow. Eric Bedard, who's pitched well lately. Alex Cobb makes his first start since April 12th. Probably will be on a pitch count somewhere in the 90, 95, maybe to 100 range. Chris Archer stays on Friday, David Price on Saturday, and Jake Odorizzi on Sunday. Those 3 will pitch against the Boston Red Sox. Cobb said he is really looking forward to that start on Thursday, even though he says it seems shorter than it actually was. He says he's been gearing up for this start for the last 3 weeks. Back to you.
All righty. Well, here we go into the bottom of the 7th inning. It'll be great to see Alex Cobb back out there on the mound. And here is Will Myers. Myers, then Rodriguez, and Forsythe. Rays need to get some offense generating here. The first pitch from Otero is a curveball high. He worked a 1-2-3 6th inning. It's inside, 2-0. Oakland with the left-hander Francis up in the bullpen. Oh! 2-1. So the Rays have Matt Joyce on deck, the left-handed bat, the left-hander Jeff Francis up in the Oakland bullpen. Pitch a little off the plate. 3-1. Cubs lead the Yankees in the bottom of the 6th at Chicago 2-0. It's Tanaka against Hamill. Tanaka has not lost. And ball 4. Leadoff walk here in the bottom of the 7th. Saw Brad Boxberger busy in the Rays bullpen. And Matt Joyce will come on to pinch hit for Sean Rodriguez.
Matt Joyce.
You're talking about getting that offense going. Last 25 innings for the Rays. 25 innings, they've scored 2 runs.
So they desperately need to get something going.
Leadoff walk helps.
Joyce fouls the first one out of play. Rays got the leadoff man on in the third with a single from James Loney. That was the only other time they've had the leadoff man on tonight. And that's when the Rays lost the 6-4-3 double play challenge. Trying to win that and get a run out of it, but that double play ended the inning. A 1-1 count.
This is where Otero, and they've got a little bit of a shift pulled over on Matt Joyce. Shortstop Nick Punto right up the middle. Donaldson off the bag at third, and Otero with that sinker trying to keep this ball away and get a ground ball.
1 ball, 2 strikes. Logan Forsythe on deck. Fly ball lifted into left. Cespedes out there makes the catch. That's the first out here in the home half of the 7th. Here's what's coming up tomorrow on Rays Live, the pregame show presented by your Gulf Coast Honda dealers. Eric Bedard, the interview for the left-hander Eric Bedard, and Orestes will break down Yoenis Cespedes.
Another breakdown.
Yeah.
Another breakdown.
Break down that big swing.
Yes. That's exactly right. And you can flip over and do Brandon Moss at the same time. Get that out of the way, too.
Now Forsythe. That's a strike. Forsythe 0 for 2. Two.
This is where Otero can sweep that breaking ball. That's a good slider that he has down and away. Counts in his favor.
One ball, 2 strikes. Two and 2. Will Myers at first. And Joyce pinch hit for Rodriguez. Lifted the fly ball to left. Forsythe here with a 2-2 count against the right-hander Otero. James Loney is on deck. Gregerson has just gotten up and started to loosen the ground ball to third. Donaldson to second. What a scoop down there by Sogard. Backhand 1-hop scoop to get the force on Myers.
And that can be uneasy, too. I mean, that's a tough throw for Donaldson to make. And Sogard has to go to the bag, concentrate on making this scoop, knowing that a base runner is sliding in at your legs. Does it very well. You don't have the added luxury of being able to see him, too. You can feel him coming, but you can't see him. You got to hang in there and try and make the play, which you did.
James, move it out of here.
2 outs. Forsythe at first, and James Loney, who is 1 for 2 tonight, bats against Otero. Fouled back. A's 9-1 over their last 10 games, and they've outscored the opposition 71-18 in that stretch. Have a 3-0 lead tonight. There's Gregerson, loose thing in the bullpen.
Yeah, that's just complete dominance. Complete dominance.
1-1.
You think about the series in Cleveland, they outscored the Indians 30-6. Well, it was 41-12 before that. I mean, this has been going on for a while.
Yep. Chopper toward the middle, shaded that way. Punto, who makes the throw to first. The side is retired. We go to the 8th. Still 3-0 Oakland. Back at the Trop, the Rays are down by 3. It has been that way since the 2nd inning. And the Rays bring on their 4th pitcher, Brad Boxberger. Another little change in this lineup here with Logan Forsythe, who was the DH, going into play 2nd after Rodriguez was lifted for the pinch hitter. The Joyce used as the pinch hitter. So Boxberger is going to go into the lineup. He'll be 5th, the Rays pitcher, as the Rays forsake the DH for the rest of the evening. Nick Punto leading off. Pitch is high. Punto had a base hit in the 6th. He's 1 for 3. It's outside. 2-0. Foul ball back. 2-1. 2 balls, 2 strikes, the count on Punto. Odorizzi, Ramos, Oviedo, and now Brad Boxberger. Count goes full. So what else is new? It's 10 full counts drawn by Oakland hitters tonight. And out in front, that's a fair ball. Oh, what an attempt. The ball hits the bag on the throw by Loney. Loney went sliding into foul territory after the ball. It was a fair ball, and the emergency toss to first hit the bag.
It's not where Loney fields it, it's where it crosses the bag. And Bill Welke down there at first base had that ball fair. So this ball go right over the bag, right there. And Loney's throw sliding. Yeah, he just never able to sit up straight. As soon as he starts to fall and roll back, the throw's low and right off the bag. No chance for Boxberger to make a play.
So the base hit. And here's Sogard, put down a bunt his last time, originally ruled a fielder's choice. Had all the markings of a sacrifice and a fielder's choice, and they later changed it to a bunt single. So he's 2 for 2 with a walk tonight. Pitch is a strike. Sogard, 27-year-old infielder. The miss, throw to first. Oh, just back in time. Puto got his right hand just in time on that bag to apparently beat the throw.
Boy, really close there. The hands coming back in. Loney reverse tag.
Bill Welke on the call.
You know, that's a situation too where Joe Madden felt strong enough about that. It now being after the 7th inning, you can go out and try to persuade Bill Welke and the umpires to take a look at that. No challenges left.
The Rays lost their challenge early tonight, back in the 3rd inning. A 2-strike count here on Sogard. Greg Gentry on deck. Low. Orioles beat the Pirates 9-2. 3-home run game for Chris Davis. The last Oriole to do that was Chris Davis in 2012 on August the 24th against the Blue Jays. No 3-home run games last year. 53 home runs for Chris Davis. There's a strike call. Sogard caught looking. Retired for the first time tonight. That's a dozen strikeouts for Rays pitching.
Frozen on the changeup. A good one here by Boxberger. Locks him up. Middle of the plate down. Easy call by Hoberg.
And Craig Gentry making his first plate appearance. Coco Crisp left with a neck issue. Roethlisberger's first pitch. The changeup is in for a strike. Runner takes off. Good jump. Throw not in time. And a stolen base for Punto.
And Jose Molina did everything he could there. Got a good pitch to handle. Got rid of it pretty quickly. But there's the jump. And with Boxberger going with the high leg kick, not a chance. The only chance is if he overslid the bag.
Ball game in the 8th. It has been 3-0 since the 2nd. And now the A's have stolen their way into scoring position. Gentry bounces one foul. It's 1-2. Punto at second base. Gentry, good run and defend guy, hit 280 last year with Texas. A 2-2 count. It's John Jaso, the former Ray, on deck, serving as the DH. And strike 3 called on the outside corner. Going in at 94 to get Gentry looking away.
He does a nice job of driving that pitch right to the spot. Gentry with a good look at it. Holberg with the punchy.
Now John Jaso. Jaso had a base hit and a run batted in the 2nd inning. It's a ball and no strikes here. Popped up back at third. Fair, could be trouble. There's Longoria. Makes the catch. A nice grab in foul territory by Evan Longoria. We go into the home half of the 8th. Rays down by 3. 8th inning. As promised earlier in the game, we have the AT fan photo of the game. Tweet your photo to #SunSportsFanPhoto for a chance to be shown in an upcoming game broadcast brought to you by AT&T. New pitcher for Oakland, Gregerson. Well, he was a prominent part of the bullpen for the San Diego Padres. Now in Oakland Athletics green.
Been working up some good usage too. On for the 22nd time, a little over 22 innings of work.
Well, here's Yanel Escobar to face Gregerson. It's a pitch inside. Otero, 2 scoreless innings. It's a strike. It's 1-1. David DeJesus on deck. Pinch hit for Jose Molina. Molina had gone 0 for 2 with a fly ball to right. They grounded into a double play. Two-1 the count. Josh Lukey up in the bullpen for the Rays. Escobar chops one foul outside of third. That takes the count to 2-2. Escobar has been on twice with a walk and a base hit. He's singled into center in the 5th.
Dwayne, have we mentioned that the Rays need base runners?
They need base runners and an offensive explosion.
Yes. Yes. Still a chance.
There's ball 3 high. So the count is full.
Runs have been so hard to come by for the Rays the last few games. Leadoff man aboard again would help.
And Gregerson opens the inning by walking Escobar. And Gregerson has had some issues.
This bullpen for Oakland has had some issues this season. You know, they've lost 5 games where they've had the lead after 7 innings. They've also won 5 games where they've been trailing after 7 innings. Both of them lead Major League Baseball. Leadoff walks at the bottom of the order.
And here's David DeJesus to pinch hit now for Molina following that leadoff walk. Gregerson already has 5 blown saves this year for Oakland. And the pitch to DeJesus is a strike. Tomorrow's starters presented by Chevron. It'll be Eric Bedard for the Rays. Tommy Malone on the hill for Oakland. Bedard looking for his 3rd win. We'll be with you at 6:30 tomorrow on Sun Sports. Chop to third. Donaldson down to second. 1 first base, not in time. Escobar forced Donaldson to Sogard.
Throws were too long. A chopper by DeJesus, and then Donaldson with a long throw. Sogard having to make that throw over to first takes too much time, and DeJesus hustling, able to beat it out.
Escobar out by plenty down there at second. And Kevin Kiermaier will pinch hit now for Geyer against the right-hander. Meyer takes a look at the pitch down. Peralta up, joining Lukey in the bullpen. Kiermaier homered in the 7th inning of Sunday's game in Anaheim to pick up his first big league home run. Big cut and a miss right there on the sinking fastball. 1-1. Kiermaier got his first big league hit Saturday in Anaheim. And then his first big league home run on Sunday. Ground ball headed up the middle. There's a base hit into center. The Jesus on his way to third, so Kiermaier off the bench and delivers a pinch hit single into center.
Now you get the tying run to the plate here. All of this entire game, Ray struggled to get something going. Dwayne, you mentioned that the struggles at times that Gregerson has had. Kiermaier sweeps that ball right up the middle. And now you got some life and an opportunity.
Well, outside of the Rays' opportunity in the third, they had Myers at second in the 4th inning. And that's really been it tonight until now. So it's first and third with one out in the 8th. And Desmond Jennings looking for his first hit of the night up in a key spot against Gregerson. Shorten's on the bat, taking the pitch down and away. Took the slider. Ball, no strikes, the count. 2-0. The Rays moving down into the middle part of their order. Longoria is on deck. Gregerson's last outing was 3 days ago in Cleveland. 2 scoreless innings. Pretty clean that one. He had 3 strikeouts. There's a chop to third. Donaldson, Sogard 1, first base 2. He throws the double play ball. Second time that Jennings is grounded into 2, and the Rays' threat goes by the boards. No runs, a hit. And as it turns out on the double play, just one man left. We're headed into And our T-Mobile game changer. We go back to the 3-run second for Oakland. Coco Crisp with his second double of the night into right center field, chased home 2 runs, and then he scored when John Jaso came up with a base hit into left center. That made it 3-0, and it remains that way as we now move into the 9th. Kevin Kiermaier's in center. We saw David DeJesus in left, and Ryan Hannigan is now behind the plate. Josh Lukey on the hill, and the first pitch to Josh Donaldson is high. 1 ball, no strikes. Boxberger worked an inning, gave up 1 hit, no runs, picked up 2 strikeouts. And now it's Lukey. 1-1. One ball, 2 strikes. Fastball, mid-90s.
And both pitches elevated, 2 swings and misses by Josh Donaldson, and both times he took that bat like he's having a problem with his left hand. Noticeable.
And there's another flinch.
It's been
he strikes out.
All 3 swings. All 3 swings by Donaldson. He is feeling something in that left arm. You can see it big time here. Another ball elevated. You see, just can't get to it. Yeah, feeling something.
So that's the first out in the 9th. Here's Brandon Moss. Strike 1. Moss doubled in the 7th. Split right there.
He's showing a nice combo of pitches here. The split to go with the good fastball. Oakland's 2 hottest hitters went through Donaldson on 3. Up to Moss.
Up, 1 ball, 2 strikes. With Lukey in the game and these other defensive changes, the lineup shuffled a bit with the pitcher Lukey going into the 2nd spot, vacated by Jennings. Rays playing without the DH here the last couple innings. Fly ball into left center field. Here comes DeJesus, and he makes the sliding catch. David DeJesus on the run and then on the slide made the grab.
Getting some acknowledgement there from Kevin Kiermaier. Nice play by DeJesus. His ball hangs up there for a while. It gives him a chance to make a play. That was pretty. Pretty good distance on the slide, too.
Nice little landing on the slide. There's Cespedes up here with 2 outs and the base is empty. Pitch is a strike. With the Lukey in the 2nd spot. Hannigan will go into the 5th position in the Rays lineup now. Big chop. Backhanded by Escobar. Throw to first in time. It's a 1-2-3 ninth inning for Lukey. The Rays will go into the bottom of the 9th looking for at least 3. They're down.
Coach Dave Martinez, you will hear from Joe in our Rays Live postgame show presented by Checkers coming up right after the game. I'll be out in left field with Orestes Estrada, Dwayne Stats, and BA with their thoughts on tonight's game. As always, you hear Joe's press conference and interviews from the Rays clubhouse. Rays Live presented by Checkers after the game. Don't forget, tomorrow, a Wednesday contest. That means it's a Web Wednesday. Get your questions in tomorrow via Twitter at SunSportsRays, or for the second week, you can email your questions to sunsportsrays@gmail.com, and Dwayne and BA will have their answers throughout the course of tomorrow night's game, 6:30 Rays Live, to kick things off tomorrow. Guys, back to you.
All right, Todd, thank you very much. Sean Doolittle takes over, the 4th pitcher for Oakland. Hard throwing lefty. Had 3 save opportunities, and yes, how about that?
You're going to earn your way on base with this guy. 28 strikeouts, no walks in 21 innings, and he's got a walkless streak that goes back 33 innings into last year.
First pitch, a fastball 95 for strike 1 to Evan Longoria. It'll be Evan followed by Will Myers and then Ryan Hannigan. 0-2. Boy, tough to catch up to that.
Hides the ball well, keeps it behind his body. You see it at the last minute, 94, 95, and those 2 pitches up in the zone. I'll tell you, the elevated fastball, we're getting a real good shot of that in the last week and how effective it can be.
1 ball and 2 strikes. Well, he's got enough sagebrush up there to hide those pitches behind.
Hide his glove right now.
Wow.
I'm telling you, there's always some interesting facial hair on the squad.
Yep, swing and a miss. Longoria out on strikes. Yeah, well, how about this battery now?
Oh. Coming to a village near you.
Will Myers continues to be a tough stretch for the Rays, and Evan Longoria taking that on himself as well. Myers looks at a strike.
You know, I think with this offense struggling like it is, Evan Longoria takes so much of the responsibility on himself. And the last thing that you want to see him do is, you know, do that. I mean, that's just going to lead you further down the path. He cares so much about what happens with this team, and right now it's not.
0-2 the count. Toronto's beaten Boston 7-4. The Rays trail here 3-0.
Boston, that's now 5 in a row that they've lost.
Upstairs, 1 ball, 2 strikes. Ryan Hannigan on deck. And strike 3 called. Fastball 95.
Perfectly placed. Top of the strike zone. Inside corner. Oh, look at that 4-seam spin. Stays true. Pat Holberg may have tendonitis tonight.
Oh, man.
And punching out so many guys.
Well, the Rays staff had 14 strikeouts tonight.
Yeah.
Rizzi had 8. That equals the season high for the Rays pitchers tonight in a single game. A ball, no strikes to Hannigan. Two balls, no strikes. Doolittle wants a new baseball.
That one had 2 balls in it.
Yeah, get rid of that. 27-year-old lefty. He was in 70 games last year. Well, 3-0.
Might we see one?
It would be a major occurrence in the life of Sean Doolittle.
33 consecutive innings going back to last year without issuing a walk. Now 33 2/3.
And he draws the walk. A 4-pitch walk. And that streak comes to an end. Everything up there. And here's Logan Forsythe. Started the day as the DH, now at second base. Another fastball up out of the zone, 1-0.
You know, he had success in the first 2 at-bats with elevated fastballs. Right now, just not able to make the adjustment and get it close enough.
Up again. So that's 6 straight pitches up out of the zone.
And all you're asking for, tying run to the plate. Tying run to the plate. You didn't figure you'd get it without having to put a ball in play, but Doolittle now halfway there with Forsythe.
There's a strike. 2-1.
And if Loney gets to the plate, it might be one of those at-bats where he decides to try and pull the trigger.
2-2.
See, that's the tough one. Higher than that, you recognize it, you lay off of it out of the zone. Right there where it's borderline, you take a hack at it, too much velocity.
2-2, and it's popped up shallow right. Sogard out. Reddick in, and Reddick makes the catch to end this one. And so the Rays leave a man in the ninth. Drop this one 3-0. Back with the totals in a moment.